I just did a video on the best online computer science master's degree programs in a tier list form, and it's getting good response, so I figured I'd try it again, but this time ranking the most popular Illinois MCS courses. Some disclaimers. This isn't a full course catalog, but I think it covers some of the most popular courses. Some of the rankings are my own, and some of them are aggregated from feedback on the MCS Slack channel. Shout out to everyone who provided feedback. Also, if you disagree with how a class you took was scored, drop a comment so others can see it for future reference. This is meant to be a resource for people to help evaluate course options in the future. First up, let's talk about the S tier courses. The first one, CS 425 Distributed Systems. I think the skills learned in this class are really important for all developers to know, and Indy is a great professor. The course is quite demanding, and you'll always have something to do, but I didn't feel like it was wasted effort. Indy is taking fall off this year, so the course will unfortunately won't be available until 2022. The next course is CS 498 Internet of Things. The feedback I've gotten is that the course has great lectures and very helpful staff. It has interesting concept and projects, and has great interplay with software and hardware. The course experience could vary depending on the group that you work with. The next class we got is CS 598 Practical Statistical Learning. People really enjoyed the course and learned a lot in statistical algorithms and analysis. The projects were great hands-on experience, and the recommended textbook is a great reference. The next class we have is CS 435 Cloud Networking. This has good content and great professors. You get to learn about the layered architecture of the internet and also get to pick up networking protocols. The course is mostly weighted on programming assignment scores. Next, let's talk about the A tier classes. First, we have Stat 420. This has a heavy workload but is useful course content, has a great professor, and is a good precursor to practical statistical learning, and you can learn how to apply statistical models to data leveraging R and RStudio. The next course we have is CS 484 Parallel Programming. It's a difficult course, but it has great teachers and TAs, useful skills and fun assignments, and I always felt very accomplished upon completion of the assignments in the course. Be aware that you'll want to be comfortable with C++ before jumping into this course. I also think that the professor may have retired here, so there's probably a new professor, which might change its ranking. The next class we have is CS 498 Cloud Computing Applications. This class has a lot of practical examples and projects with exposure to cloud services. Some people on Slack disagree with me here, and A tier might be a little too high, but for someone like me with no prior cloud experience, it was fun. However, the class has way too long of lectures. The next A tier course we have is CS 421 Programming Languages. Matt from the Slack channel had to say, an excuse to use Haskell and be esoteric. Organization of the class could be much improved, and MPs were at times frustrating. This class was a C tier when I finished, but I had moved up in my estimation after the fact. It has succinct lectures. I've also heard from others that this is a worthwhile class, although it doesn't seem to be a popular selection. Next up, we got CS 410 Text Information Systems. This class is well organized, interesting content with a good professor, has a moderate workload, and I've heard consistently positive feedback on this class, so I think A tier is fitting. Next up, we're going to talk about the B tier. First class we have is CS 411 Database Systems. It's boring at times, but useful skills since almost all developers will interact with persistent data like a database. It was also fun to play around with a network graph database like Neo4j, which was a new experience for me personally. Your experience will vary depending on the strength of your project team. Next class is CS 412 Data Mining. The feedback appears that there was too much content to cover and the interaction with the course staff was low. Machine problems in the class are enjoyable and the text references are useful. Next, talk about the C tier. First class we have is CS 598 Cloud Computing Capstone. It's an interesting concept but poor execution. Instructors are on perma ghost mode. Experience depends on who's in your project group. They changed up the concept this semester and could be better in the future, but it's got some kinks to iron out for sure. Next, let's talk about the D tier classes. First, we have CS 513 Data Cleaning. This is the easiest class I've taken so far. Not very actionable in my opinion, but others in the Slack channel did find utility in the class more than I did. I could be rating this too low, but D tier it is for now. Next up, we have CS 598 Deep Learning for Healthcare. It's a new course in the program that seemed to be disjointed on assignments, and the final project that left more to be desired. This seems like a polarizing course where either you love it or you hate it. Next up, we have CS 498 Applied Machine Learning. The material could be useful, but the course did not do a good job at covering them. Was more of just touching on a lot of topics without getting into meaningful details, and the homework was easy but not useful to learn from. It was basically a numpy boot camp. And that wraps it up for all the course rankings. If you're an Illinois MCS student, leave your rankings in the comments below. See ya.